Once upon a time, there lived a topology called Bus. They lived in a crowded and busy world called the Cloud. Bus topologies stuck together with all the nodes on the same backbone. The end of the backbone has a terminator. But if one of the nodes failed to work, all the other nodes also refused to work. Therefore, it becomes extremely hard for someone to fix them. Even then, they're extremely friendly. Adding nodes to them was super easy. Taking them away was just as easy too. One day, Bus 50 was feeling pale and went to bed early. The next morning, he woke up feeling odd. One look at the mirror and... Ah! He now looked like a star. How very odd! But he found that he could detect errors in individual nodes and not shut the entire system down if disease struck down one of his nodes. And that when he felt like it, he could take out or add in more nodes without affecting the others. Wow! But then he required a lot more cabling than his older brother Bus, and like his brother, if the switch or hub failed, then his entire network would suffer the consequences. How awful. Bus 50 wasn't the only one having problems that day. 180 went out for a jog, tripped over a rock, and he could not stop rolling. He found it extremely difficult to walk home after the fall. Man, was he in for a surprise at home. The other buses looked at him like he was round.
I can't walk. I feel funny.
Hey, look, I'm not the only silly one.
Oh my God, what happened?
Poor 180. He was shocked to find that he was, in fact, round. But he had stars to accompany him in his misery, and the buses renamed 180 to Ring because he looked like one, and transmitted data like one. Ring sent data from one node to all the other nodes in between, as there is no central hub like in a star. Although, if one node failed, all the other nodes also failed. If the movements or other changes are made to one node, it affects the whole network. 180 also found that he was a lot slower at transferring data than before. Soon years passed. Now there were many stars and buses and rings crowding the busy walls of the cloud. All shapes and sizes were now accepted in their world. A few years later, a man called Dr. Frankenstein made an entrance into the cloud. Dr. Frankenstein was quite odd. He talked to himself and made completely random and useless things like a jumping bunny. Although two of his good inventions were the hybrid and the wireless. He put together Bus, Star, and Ring to come up with the hybrid. And as the saying goes, many heads are better than one. And this experiment turned out to be a huge success. Hybrids are better because they can be easily expanded, but sometimes it's too expensive as there is a lot of cabling involved. And they can sometimes be too hard to troubleshoot. He also, through a complete accident, came up with the wireless.
It works. Wow.
Wireless is like the king of all topologies at the moment because he's so easy and convenient, because he can be moved everywhere. He's so easy to install and use. Although his data transfer is a little slow, and he needs a little more protection because anyone can tune into the wireless network. He's also cool because less infrastructure is required for them to run. 20 years into the future, wireless is now used everywhere, and Dr. Frankenstein is extremely rich.